This is Julian, and I'm here in Zurich, Switzerland. And what we're going to jump into here is a segment from last night's live event on the topic of discovering what you want in life. Discovering your purpose, discovering your calling, discovering that one thing that turns you on, that tickles your balls. You know, it's so common now where it's like, hey, what do you want to do in life? What's life about? I don't know. We're so used to just ignoring our own needs, ignoring our authentic selves, living in this state of denial, just dead inside. This video will snap you out of it. Enjoy. We've lost touch with our own calling, if you will, if our own desires, our own fucking drive, your own needs, okay? What do you want to do in life? What is your purpose? What is your calling? Most people have no idea. They're just existing. They're just drifting through existence until death. And you can see it in someone's eyes, by the way. I can see it in your eyes looking right here. Who the fuck is alive? Who is connected to that calling? Who is acting out of authenticity? And who is just fucking dead inside? I know who you are. Dead inside. Doing something they don't like, something that's not authentic to them, trying to please people they don't give a fuck about. Just existing. Another day, I'm old, I'm dead. Okay? They have no idea, and you can also catch yourself here by how much you escape life. When you go home after work, what's the first thing you do? Let's put the next Netflix show on, the next Game of Thrones, the next movie, the next TV show, the next YouTube video. How often do you escape yourself? How often do you escape your life? Okay, there was a time in my life when I was actually going to university here in Lausanne, HEC. Some people are smart. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I hated my life at the time. It was not something that just brought life to me. And literally my days were like this. I wouldn't even go to the entire class some days. I'd wake up and the first thought that kicked in my head is, fuck, I'm awake. No? A lot of people, and me at the time, preferred sleep than being awake, being active, being alive, being conscious. Because at least when I slept, I could escape this shit. I could escape this fucking nightmare and drift off into the fantasy lands of my dreams. You know, and I'd wake up like, fuck. Then I'd be like, well, it's like 7 a.m. It's 7 a.m. You got a day to survive here. Oh man, a lot of hours to go. A lot of hours to fill until you can finally fall asleep again. That was literally my thought. Life was something I had to survive. It was this fucking horrible land, this torture land I had to survive versus an environment to thrive in. I was like, fuck, let's go. So I'd literally wake up, go about the routine. I look forward to breakfast. Like maybe I'll numb it with some food, and I'd be eating the food, like a little spike there. And I go to class and fucking hate it. And while I was in my studies, I try to zone out. You ever get in those states where you just kind of zone out, trying to make the day fly by? Like the faster the time passes, the better, you know, until it's done, and then you can go home and finally perhaps escape a little bit more of this horrible existence through TV shows and movies. You know, and back then, torrents were big. I don't know if they're still big now. I think a lot of things changed to just streaming, from what I hear. But I would just torrent the fuck out of TV shows, fuck out of movies. And that was like my highlight of the day, just like numbing myself. And I would freak out when I ran out of things to watch. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do now? Faced with reality, must find another show. And I'd go on fucking like IMDb and try to find like, what are the things other people like? And then finally find a show I love, and I would just binge and binge and binge and watch shit until I was so fucking tired I could just lie down and back into the fantasy dreamland. Oh, fuck, wake up, damn it. Endless. And that was just every fucking day. Groundhog Day, the same thoughts, the same feelings, surviving life. And the more people I met, by the way, after that, on this whole fucking journey, I realized it's not just me, it's pretty much everyone kind of in this state. You go to work, you just fucking hate it. You come home, and even then you hate it. And just be aware of how much you escape yourself. A super huge one with guys is the whole like no FAP movement, masturbation, porn. No? That's what, I mean, what better way to escape yourself? You're there, fuck, I hate my life, I hate myself. Hey, it's like a computer. If you go online right now, you can have access to hours upon hours, to fucking thousands of hours and thousands of hours of porn. And during that time, you can forget about your pathetic self, your pathetic life, this shit of existence. You can stroke it, you can beat it, and kind of try to prolong the beating, because you know as soon as you're done, you're back to the shit, and you probably feel even worse about this shit, and you keep beating and beating, and perhaps finally come and experience a couple seconds of enlightenment where you forget about your problems, you forget about life, you're just like, and then you're back into the shit. And you're like, fuck, gotta wait till it's charged up again and forget about life again. And it's insane. You know, I have Skype clients I talk to now, and like, that's a lot of their lives, you know? It's like, I can't stop fucking jacking off. It's like an easy escape, you know? And then in between the jacking off, you're fucking on YouTube. And it's like, you know, I just spend my life watching shit on YouTube, watching shit online, downloading shit. It's like, I just hate it, you know? And then you could ask that person, okay, well, what can we do about it? You know, what's perhaps something that calls you that might add a little bit of light in your eyes, that might make this existence more attractive? I don't know. And that's everyone. I don't know. And why don't you know? And this is something to really think about, okay? And of course, the typical answer, due to the way that you're conditioned. Social conditioning, good old social conditioning. Due to the way you're conditioned, you know, we're taught that what we want, what our calling is, that little voice in the back of your head right now, to ignore it. No? From the moment you're fucking born, it's like, you shouldn't feel that way. It's like, no, don't do that. Do that to please him. Do that to please her, etc., etc. You're raised as a fucking people pleaser. You're raised to literally believe that your own needs, that little voice, your little dream is completely bullshit. It's pathetic. It's a little child dream. Grow up, motherfucker. Grow up. That's what you're taught, you know? And we all have it, like growing up. Like I remember as a kid, and fortunately I had some people around me that kept pushing me to keep that alive, but even I lost touch with it for quite some time. But I remember, like, my grandmother, for example, would keep it alive. Like, she'd see it and be like, that gift, that calling of, say, being a little creative. You know, I love music, I love drawing, and she'd always encourage me. A lot of other people would be like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I'm like, I don't know, maybe something in, be in a band. That's stupid. That's not mature. I'm like, ugh, like, and you start doubting yourself. And then after a while, you're like, you know what? Fuck that voice. I guess I don't know what's best for me. No? And then you start living, trying to please other people, living their dream. Most people, everything they do is for their parents, and they can't drop it to this day. Another client I have on Skype, he's 40-something years old, and he's still run by his parents' expectations of him. Even though there's absolutely no repercussions in his life right now, there's still a feeling of guilt when he pursues something that's, say, more authentic to him. He loves, for example, movies. You know, creating movies, directing movies, like that's his calling. But his mother always shamed him for it. Say, no, you're gonna be a fucking lawyer. You're gonna be a doctor. What's this movie shit, you immature cunt? Now, she didn't say that, I mean, his fucking son, but that was, again, the way he was conditioned. And now, even as he's older, he's doing it, which is great, but there's still that feeling of guilt. Like, like she's gonna come out of the fucking corner and slap him or something. And we're run by this, you know?
I have that really strong.
Yes, cool. Social intelligent, yes. Hey, this reminds me, I was in Disneyland in Paris when I was younger. And there was this Star Wars ride, and we were all on it, and everyone's like, fasten your seatbelts, make sure everyone has their seatbelts on. And then there's this little girl from, I think, London. She's like, excuse me, and everyone's like, the fuck? And the lady at the front's like, yes, little lady, My seatbelt is on. Cool fucking story. No, I agree with you, and we're going to go deeper, but that's awesome. But no, and it's not just you, it's fucking everyone. It's like my parents. Like you do that, and then you find yourself living this life that's not a life of your own design. It's not something you wanted, and then you're like, what the fuck? You're doing something you don't want to please people who aren't you, and you lost touch with yourself. And you've been doing it for so fucking long, you can't even connect with yourself anymore. That little voice, you should do this. Don't shove me in the corner, do this. You've been shoving it back. Shut up, motherfucker, shut up. Gone. And you can't even find that voice anymore. You can't even find that little seed just of what you could be authentically if you listen to it. And there you are, just fucking lost, drifting. Yeah? Anyone relate to this, by the way? Just curious. Yeah. Absolutely insane. And it's the worst state to be in because you can't find a fucking way out. You know it's not this, but then you don't know what. And you're stuck. And what kind of life is that? You know, and the more you do it, the more dead inside you become. Another test to see this is what excites you? What are you passionate about? You don't know? You're not in touch with yourself. This is one of the first questions my friend Derek asks clients he works with in terms of, say, socializing. He's like, what excites you? What are you passionate about? And 80% of the time, no idea. It's like, what? Like, you're alive, you're here, and you're passionate about nothing? Why are you alive? Yeah. Now, not as harsh as that, but it's true. It's like, what kind of life is this? Like, let's fucking snap out of this. Like, you're here, and life will fucking fly by the way. If you're in this state, like, I could be stuck in the fucking torrent movie state shit till the day I die. And this is why you hear people waking up on their deathbeds like, oh my God, and they have all these regrets. Right? And they're like, what did I do with my life? What the fuck was that? Just completely wasted the opportunity. So, reconnect with you. Okay? Stop living someone else's dream. Stop trying to live only for other people. Live for you, the person you ignore the most. The person you've been shoving. It's like, it's not about me, it's about everyone else. Be more selfish. Make it about you. Otherwise, you keep compromising who you are for other people, and it's a lose-lose. You hate yourself, and then you'll start hating them. Resentment will kick in. The most common thing with people pleasers, they resent everyone. Why? Because they make so many sacrifices for other people, and then they don't see other people doing the same for them. And they hate them. And then they hate themselves, and they lose touch with themselves. So, let's reclaim it, okay? Some questions to ask yourself. And once more, ask yourself these questions. Don't think about the answers. Actually, imagine you're asking yourself the question and see what comes up. Okay? What are, for example, your values? What do you like? What excites you in life? And just do an audit. Look back at your life. What are some times where your eyes went from dead inside to okay? Not porn, but something else. Like when were you just fucking engaged and just happy to exist? Happy to be part of this world. Happy to be doing something in this world. And once more, it's like, porn. It's the only time I'm happy. Okay, what was it? What about it? You know, what turns you on? As we were joking last night, it's like, what tickles your balls? And sit with that. Like, spend even like, I kid you not, like an hour a day just sitting with this. Like, what tickles my balls? And just let whatever comes up come up and write it down. Okay, now some obstacles that you will encounter while pondering these questions is that there are too many options. Now this is amazing, by the way. Okay, with the internet too, it's like, it's the best fucking time to be alive. There are so many options, you can make so much shit happen. But it paralyzes a lot of people. Because it's like, now what? It's not like, hey, you like ice cream? Chocolate or vanilla? Pick. No, pretty easy. You like ice cream? Here's a billion flavors. Pick. And then we start doubting ourselves and we're just fucking paralyzed. It's like, oh, I think this, but maybe that, but maybe that. Then, of course, another little social media plug. You see social media and then you start doubting yourself even more. Why? Because you keep comparing yourself to these other people, idolizing them, getting sucked into what they're about, which is not necessarily what you're about. You know, I remember having this with just for example, like say clothing style growing up. You know, I was like, say, really into like one band, and I'd watch them be like, fuck yeah, I want to dress like the fucking skater rocker band. And then I'd listen to like some rapper, and I'm like, fuck that, I want to be like the rapper. And it used to be pulled in all these fucking directions. And as soon as you're like, I'm sure now, I'm the punk rocker kid. Rap. I'm the rapper. Punk rock, just nonstop. And that's what we do. We keep doubting ourselves with all this shit blasted at us. You know, of people who seem to have more than us, and people are extremely fucking sure that this is the way. Now be inspired by that, of course, but buy into yourself. Stop only buying into other people. Buy into you. Okay? And pick something and put all your fucking eggs in the basket. That's my advice. And it might be the wrong basket, but guess what? Here's the thing, you're probably not taught or you don't realize. If it's the wrong basket, you don't lose the eggs. All you have to do is take them out of the basket and put them in another basket. That's it. Okay? We think that the worst thing ever will happen if we pick the wrong thing. You know what the worst thing ever that'll happen? It's what's happening now by not picking anything. That's the worst. That's the biggest fucking risk. It's staying stuck right now. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe that, maybe that, not committing. You think you're not committing to something, but what are you committing to? Nothing. You can't not commit. You either commit to a basket or you commit to no basket. And no basket is the worst. Pick the wrong basket. Now you learn, okay, it's not this basket. And you don't die if you pick the wrong basket. Your life's not ruined if you pick the wrong basket. We think we'll end up homeless and broke. No. Right now, if you're in a stable situation, this is your comfort zone. You will find a way back to it. Don't worry. You know? It also helps to even write down realistically what the worst case scenario is, because your mind will fucking exaggerate the fuck out of shit. And that was a lot of fucks in one sentence. You know, like when I first moved to Los Angeles, I've shared this story before. It literally felt like suicide. I'm like, shit, I quit university, moved to Los Angeles, no plan. And I was like, oh my God, like my life's over. You know, this is it. This is me fucking burning the boats. Is it really? No, say it fails in LA. I just failed completely. Can I come back to Switzerland? Yeah. Can I go back to university? Yeah. Oh, the boats are burnt. I will die. No, just go back to Switzerland and go to university. But in my mind, the movie was like, fucking university on fire and shit. I'm like, never. Like, it's not true. So sit down with yourself and realistically write it out. What is the worst case scenario? The worst. And actually, you can get a little dark. The worst of the worst if putting your eggs in this basket fails. And it's never as bad as you think it is. Okay? And guess what? It'll add a little excitement to your fucking life. Because now it gets you out of that fucking trance of sameness. And now you have a fucking epic story to tell. Now your life's become a little more epic. Because epic is not just amazing, amazing, amazing. That's apathy. That's boring. It's the contrast. It's the ups and downs. It's the downs that make and the ups. Like, that's the fucking story. That's the life you want to live. That's the movie everyone loves, where they're fucking alive and engaged. It's not the movie that's flat. It's the, oh, now he loses the girl. Oh, now they're no longer friends. Oh, now they get back together. Oh, it's that. It's that fucking wave. Do that with your life. Okay? So, once more, pick something. Write down the worst case scenario. In terms of picking something, ask yourself, if you had, and you can get a little dark with this. I personally do, because it really gets you aligned with what's authentic. If you had 1 year to live, what would you do? Or what would you do where it doesn't matter if you never made it? What would you do if it doesn't matter how much money you make? What matters more is what you do. What's that calling? What are some things you loved when you were younger? Some passions you had when you were younger. Some things that excited you when you were younger. Another little barrier that may block you is we tend to ignore things that are calling us because we think that we perhaps can't make money off of them, or it's not like realistic. You know, we're like, ooh, just ignore that answer. Like, I can never make money. You can. You can live off anything if you're creative enough. The skill set here is get creative and be adaptable. Maybe you won't live doing this one specific thing, but you can do something that's a little bit different that fulfills the same need. Okay, for me, let's rewind back to music. That's why I originally moved to LA, by the way. Music. I wanted to be a rock star. I was, for real, I had no plan when I moved to LA. All I knew is, this is not for me. LA, self-expression, this is what makes me alive. This is what turns me on. And I was okay being homeless the rest of my life if I was doing something that was just, that made me feel alive, that made me feel like I was living. And it was self-expression, talking to people, and composing. Again, anything self-expression. Now, am I doing music here today, right now? No. But guess what? Adaptable, creative. What I'm doing here fulfills the same thing inside of me that music did. This is the fucking concert. The videos are recording the fucking songs, working with people and perfecting the content that is composing the songs. You can do it. So it might not be that specific thing. And here's another piece of advice. Don't be too specific or you'll block off other opportunities. If all I was thinking is like, it only is music, it's only music, I would have blocked off this. What about music excites you? And what are perhaps some other avenues that branch out from that? Okay? And then once more, get creative. If you have trouble getting creative, ask people, how can I perhaps do something where I live off this? And dream big. That's the other one. Don't dream so fucking small. We think that the bigger we dream, the bigger the goals, the riskier it is. No, it's not. And once more, what's the riskiest? This. Dream big. Go all out. What if you died in 1 year? You'd probably go all out. Do it now. And remember, it's like there is no worst case scenario. It's like your comfort zone is this. You'll find a way back. Trust yourself. You will find a way back to this. This is easy. This is what you know. You're used to this. It's very hard to go below. Aim big. What are you afraid of? Identify the fear.
For me personally, it's the judgment from my dad specifically.
Great. So what I'd do here is I'd actually use the process of letting go around this, where I'd think, and I'd ask yourself this question, could I be okay with my dad judging me? Could I be okay losing contact with my dad? Could I be okay losing touch with my dad, never talking to him again, and having him dislike me and judge me? What comes up? If, and this is very harsh, you're connected to something that's that true calling, the answer should be yes. This should come first. You living up to your own expectations, pursuing that calling, creating a life of your own design should come before anything else. I'm great terms right now with my family, by the way. I'll probably see them Monday after this weekend since we're in Switzerland. But when I moved to LA, it was fucking hell. They told me, it's like, you leave you walk out this door, never come back, never talk to us. You're disowned, you're dead to us. And I moved to LA. Crazy. I had like my guitar, my suitcase, and I had $5,000, and that was it. And I was like, arrive in LA. I didn't know where the fuck I was going to stay. Nothing. That's what I did. Why? Because for me, it was this above all else. I couldn't keep going. I couldn't keep fucking like drifting through life being dead. I had to live. This was more important than that. And guess what? In the long run, all of those people you care about, maybe not at all, but most of them will come around and they'll respect you even more for it, and your relationship will be much better because you followed that. Because they'll know. There'll be a temporary drift. You'll drift apart perhaps temporarily. But in the long run, they'll be like, damn, that was the right call. You did something that's true to you. I see that now. I respect that now. If you don't, you're going to keep hating yourself. You're going to keep knowing you're disconnected from you. You're going to start resenting your parents. You will actually start hating your parents. Because there's part of you that's like, they're holding me back. It's their fault. Fuck them, fuck them. And although you're still in touch, the hate will grow and grow and grow. They will probably start resenting you. It'll just spread, and that's the life you live. And you'll see it with older people. Like the classic example in movies you'll see all the time is the guy who's like still the mommy's boy, and he's old and she's older. It's like the grandmother with like the fat nerdy guy, and it's like, but my mom, and they both fucking bicker all the time and hate each other all the time. That's your future. Unless you say, fuck you, mom, and do your thing. No, not fuck you, but it's like, you gotta do you. This is your life. And if they knew that this is your calling, they would tell it to you as well. And never, don't be pissed at them either. Like, their intention is to keep you safe. You know, my parents saying, don't walk out that door. Looking back now, I fucking get it. Like I like to say, I would never do that to my children, but I might, you know. Say you have your kid, like, hey, I'm quitting university, I'm moving to LA. What? Like you have this carved out plan here. What are you doing in LA? Winging it? Do you know what you're gonna do, where you're gonna live? Nah. Just taking my guitar, just fucking wing it. Let's see what happens. Eh? Famous. So you're gonna do like a music school? Are you gonna form a band? I'm like, I don't know. We'll just fucking see. You're gonna do anything to be like, fuck, my kid's gonna die in a gutter. Don't leave. Say whatever it takes to keep him here, to keep him safe. Right? That's most of the time here. What they'll say, it's like, no, this. But only you know you. So dream big, and kind of linking to the parent thing, don't let anyone ever talk you out of that dream. Ever. Because guess what? You are going to die. The darkness, the thing to reflect on, you're going to die. We live as if we're going to live for fucking ever. You're not. You could die tomorrow, you could die today. I could fucking die today. I hope I don't. But I could. In which case, put this video out. It's the last thing he said. No, it's true. We're all going to die. We hate thinking about this. Because, you know, I mean, a great book is The Denial of Death. I recommend reading it. It's the thing like that's really is at the core of a lot of our fears. But it's true. We don't like thinking about the fact that we're going to die. It scares the shit out of us. You know, and it's the ultimate unknown. Like, what the fuck happens after you die? But you're going to die. And the more you can sit with this perspective, be okay with it, and then from that perspective, whatever authentically comes up, act from there, the better. Because otherwise you're just kidding yourself. You know, an exercise we do, like Sunday, for example, Transformation Mastery Live, is the imagine you're dead type of meditation. Like imagine you died right now, and everyone, there's so many regrets and so many things where it's like, I wish I had more time. I wish I had more time. We all have dreams we put off, things we put off. Even in terms of the way that we are. You know, it's like, fuck, if I knew I was going to die tomorrow, I would allow myself, I would give myself permission right now to be way more expressive. I'd give myself permission to laugh. I'd give myself permission to smile. Fuck, I didn't smile enough. I'd give myself permission to fucking follow this dream I had instead of, I'll do it later. Later may not come. Later is not a guaranteed. Knowing that, what are you going to do about it? What comes up? You know, if you find out you had a disease that'll kill you in a year, you have cancer, it's terminal cancer, what would you do right now, finding out this news? You have 6 months to live, 1 month to live. Or even better, you have cancer right now, uncurable. It'll kill you maybe tomorrow, maybe in 50 years. What would you do?
Show my DP.
Because right now, you do have this disease that will kill you perhaps today, perhaps tomorrow, perhaps in 50 years. What's the disease called? Life. Yeah. Being alive. You're going to die. We try so hard to survive. None of you will survive. I won't survive. Now, there's always someone, but what about technology? None of you will survive. You can try as hard as you want to survive. You're not. You're going to die. Stop living in denial, accept it, and fucking milk this life to the fullest. And fuck anyone who tells you to fucking get out of it. To not do it, to not pursue your dream. A lot of it too, by the way, and this might happen, say parents, but also with friends, you'll see it, is that it's not just you who's been disconnected from that calling, it's everyone. And when someone sees someone else actually pursue it, it kind of shines the spotlight on the fact that they didn't do it. You know? So say, for example, like your dad, say he never actually pursued his calling. Maybe he had you. And he's like, you know what, I'm going to sacrifice my dream for my kid. And he kind of drifts through existence. He has you, which is great. And then he sees you do what he never did. That might sting a little bit. Okay, there's that saying, like crabs in a bucket. If you're in a bucket and a crab tries to crawl out, they drag him down. You might see that with friends. You know, it's like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you making us feel bad? Imagine we're all fat here and someone starts losing weight. Are we gonna like that? Be like, eat your McDonald's. Why are you making us feel bad? Stay fat so we can all feel the same. I don't want to fucking see you being skinny and now feel bad about the fact that I'm fat and not skinny, and the fact that since we're the same, you did it, that means I could do it, but I'm not doing it. Stay fat. Society, fuck your dream. Don't make us feel bad. Fuck your dream. Conform. Conform. Eat the Big Mac. And that's what we do. So what's more? You have one life. Stay true to you. You've played the route of getting people's approval. It'll kill you inside. The more you live for others, the less you live for you. Now, ideally, live for you, and then from that place, you can actually be there for others. But if it's always like, others above me, you're fucked. Okay? The most important relationship you have in life is the relationship you have with yourself. And only you know what that calling is. Reconnect with it. Reconnect that little fucking voice, that passion you had growing up before it was squished out, before you got fat, before you started eating the Big Macs. Oftentimes we will need some event that just snaps us out of it because we're so stubborn. Like this message here will probably only connect with like a few people. Most people, like right now, you feel inspired. You're like, oh. And you know there's that part of you inside, there's that little voice like, listen to him, listen. And you're like, shut up, motherfucker. And you'll leave this room and just say, shut up, and back to the, the routine that is life. But for some people, it kind of woke you up. And the key is like, if you can sit down and actually take perspective and then act from it, you're good. But we're so stubborn, we're so caught in these routines, we're so addicted to it that we sometimes need like a life crisis that breaks the pattern. And then it's like we're forced to, follow something that's more authentic to us. But this constant self-reflection is key. One thing I personally do is that death meditation. I do it every 2-3 weeks. Always realign, always realign. If I died right now, what comes up? How do I feel about the life I live? What matters to me? Who are the people that matter to me? What are the things that matter to me? What are the values I have? Always realign. Because you'll get pulled in all these different directions. Pulled into what you think like your friends like. My friends like this, so I should like this. My friends value this, so I should value this. What do I value? You see it too. Like starting out with success with women, like meeting women. Most people, including myself when I started out, you don't even know what type of girl you want, you like. You want the girl, if you're starting out, that all your friends fucking like, or that society likes. What's your type? You have no idea. You want the type where all your friends are like, oh man, whoa. But even that's probably not their type because they're thinking the same thing as you. They're all conditioned. What do you like? How do I feel when I do this? Or how do I feel launching down this path? And if you feel a little bit more alive, keep following that. It's like follow the feeling of aliveness inside of you. Follow that feeling where it's like the pupils get bigger. You start smiling more. You start looking forward to the days ahead. Where instead of waking up like, oh, a day to survive, you wake up and you're like, fuck yeah. When I wake up, I'm excited to be alive. I'm like, oh, I'm awake. Now that doesn't mean that all my days are fucking amazing. And it doesn't mean that I absolutely love everything that I fucking do. There's, of course, still some things I'm like, oh, and I do it. But that and do it beats by a million. Like that worst day doing something that's true to you will beat the best day ever doing something that's not true to you. Okay? Like that, say the best day where I'm trying to escape reality and say God comes down and hands me like the best movie torrents in the world and I have the whole day off to eat fucking junk food and watch those movies. You'd think that's the best day, but I'd rather have a shitty day where I'm like, ugh, but doing something that's turns me on, that tickles my balls, than fucking watch the torrents. And that's the thing. Once you find that calling, once you stay true to it, you'll have the ups and downs, but you love it.
If we're related, we'll meet. So today I feel like I've met my family and everybody else here has also.
It's just amazing that something like this exists, that people can share with each other what they feel.
I found out some deep issues I had within me.
Just being able to
finally find that root reason.
That feeling just for 2 seconds, if I could get that just one more time, I would die a happy man.
All the time I felt like there was something missing.
I really feel like I've just addressed all these problems that have been like sitting inside of me.
Realize now I'm getting lighter and I'm getting less shakier, and I think it was one of the best decisions.
I've been hanging around with people for 2 years. I have like a stronger connection to some of you right now than I have with them.
I feel like this is gonna save my life, and it's like I'm heading towards the right goal. Now I'm sure that this is the right path.
It was epic.